Hey folks, how's it going? Rosendo from MLH here. Hope you're all enjoying Global Hack Week thus far. Data Week has been pretty awesome, and I think a lot of the folks that have been joining us on a daily basis can testify to that. Today we have a really nice treat for y'all. We have someone from Oracle Database, Anand, who's going to be coming on and showing us all about MySQL HeatWave, and it's a really great tool that you can use if you're into data analytics and you like working with data at scale, or if you've never done it before, this is a great time for you to learn. So definitely, keep it locked. Let us know where you're at in the world, and definitely get engaged in chat. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them there. I've also just dropped the link for where you can register and check in for this workshop here. So definitely hit that up as well. It's in the chat for y'all. And with that being said, you know what? I'm going to let everyone kind of get to it because I know everyone's really excited to be here and to learn a little bit more about Oracle Database. Without any further ado, here is Anand. Welcome, Anand.
Hey, thanks, Rosendo. Thanks for the intro. Hello, everyone. Myself, Anand. I'm part of MySQL and Management Cloud team at Oracle. So, in this session, we will discuss like what are the three tips which you can take from this session, which will make you like a good data management lead or analytics lead working with OCI. So, let's get started with the agenda for today's session. So in this session, we will discuss first what is all about data platform, and then what is the complexity that data platform associated with. Like as you grow your data, there is like a lot of complexity while building this data platform, and the solutions. Like because we do have OCI different services which will address the data platform complexity problems. So we can get into like each of the solutions and understand how these solutions help to address the data platform complexities. And also the demo. So we do have two demos planned, like one which will talk about the end-to-end, where building a data pipeline and then getting data into MySQL, and then use OCI Data Science to analyze the data. And then the second demo is it's very interesting because you might have seen or worked with the data which just for querying or whatnot. But we will see how you can use ML-based program within the database. So it would be an interesting demo. So let's see. Uh, and also, I will share the resources about this agenda, and you can go and try in your free time. So let's get started. So when you just to understand what data platform is, right? So it is mainly divided into three components. Like the first component, it comes is the data storage or in the processing. So you were talking about like different, the use cases might be different for different scenarios. For example, if your data is small, then your data storage you might consider would be a database. And if your storage is, if your use case is related to multiple data sources or types, and then multiple streams of data coming in, then you would consider data lakes. And also, if it is more than that, then you would go for data warehouse. So it depends, like based on your use case. So you'll choose what the data storage for your scenario, and you use it. So the main thing to consider is like the data storage you support should be compatible, or it should support the data type, the data which is coming into the data storage, and also it should support like structured and semi and unstructured data, because you never know. Today you might start with one source, and tomorrow you might add a couple of more different sources and different source types, right? Or data types. Then you can't build a new data storage and migrate again. So it's additional efforts. So when you identify or start building a data platform, choose the right data storage component. That way, you can easily add multiple streams of data sources, and you can use the same data, and it should also scale horizontally. That way, you can use the same database as and when there is a lot of data, you can increase vertically and also horizontally, and keep your workloads running on it. So this is about data storage, right? So where you define like what my data storage looks like. And second part, as I mentioned, that data comes from different sources. So you need to understand one thing, that like uh, whether the data integration platform you're trying to use, does it support the connectors to connect to these different sources and gather data and put it into your data storage. So you need to choose the right data integration platform and build the right pipeline and the ETL pipeline to get the data from different sources into your data storage. Okay. So, and then once you build a data pipeline, and also like if you see, we don't usually get data in real time. So your data integration platform should be capable to support scheduling. Like you might be doing during non-business hours to get the production data into data storage and run your analytical queries on top of it, right? So your data integration platform should be it should support ETL framework, and it should be easy to build data pipeline. Not that you have to code a complete pipeline in any programming language, but it should be easy to do data pipeline. And then the second part is scheduling, right? So you need to do in batches, or sometimes it might be real time. So it should be able to cater to both needs. So the data integration platform you choose should be right and should be supportive of all these features. And the third part, so now you know you took the data from different sources and you got the data into data storage, and then now you have data sitting in your storage. So now you need to use data analytical tools, business intelligence tools to extract insights out of that data, so that you can use ML algorithms or visualization tools and reporting based on your business needs or your team's needs, and get business insights out of it. So this is what the data platform comprises of. So it talks about storage, data integration platform, and then data analytics, right? So now, as we understood what data platform is all about, now let's go and understand the complexities it's associated building a data platform. So let's start with, let's take an example. So let's say when you start with an application, like let's say you are an e-commerce, you are into e-commerce business, and you have an application which can just allow users to buy from your online store, and there is a database associated with that application, right? So the data comes and sits in the database. So this is any applications you start, it start like this, like just the basic. But once the data is coming, and after 6 months or 1 year, so you want to see like how your business or how your application is doing, right? So what you do is you build a pipeline, you take the data outside into analytical system, and you apply analytics to see what is my sales and how my business is doing, and how I can run, increase my sales, or what changes I have to bring, or what kind of product should I position in my platform. So you start with basics, and there is one ETL. So you keep observing the ETL, the number of pipelines you build while you grow your business. The second, so once you have analytics already built in, so then the second part is the machine learning, right? So you want to do not just to see how your data is performing, and also do predictive analytics. So what if you're running a promotion, so does it stand well, whether it will be able to break even with the efforts you have put? So you need to do some ML algorithms to see uh, whether you can scale or increase the sales by doing any additional work, or any insights so that can help you to increase your business. So that is one ETL there. So either you can use it from the same database which you used for analytics, or you can use or build a new database just for machine learning platform. So that is one ETL there. And then lakehouse. So as you grow, like to support structured and semi-structured data, so you do one more ETL and use it for machine learning, and have a single data store for all your use cases, right? So that is data lakehouse. There is one more ETL there. And then now Gen AI stuff. So you will use natural language processing for all the business executives so that they can query in their natural language and get to understand what their business is all about. So to understand what can they improve, or whether they are going in a right direction, or they have to change a path to increase their sales, or modify or add any really what you call demand products into the platform. So if you see here, so it can use different sources. GenAI, like it is using from Lakehouse, it is using from analytics data, and it is using directly the production data. And also we do have a vector store, vector DB. If you see today, like you have heard of like your LLMs can hallucinate. So sometimes it doesn't have relevant context, so that it will give the right answers. When you ask for something, it will give generic answers which is not relevant or good enough for you to like proceed, right? So in order to increase the relevant results in your LLM models, so you can take the data which is sitting in your database and build a vector store on top of it, and then embed to your Gen AI or LLM model. That way you can increase your relevance or results more appropriate to the questions which is asked. So by looking at this complexity, like it's really difficult to build a single ETL, like to get a data out of from one database to other and cater to different platforms like machine learning platform, LLM model, analytics, lakehouse, and also production OLTP database, right? So there is, if you look at this image itself, there is uh, lot of what we call data being duplicated. First thing, and second thing is like it's very complex to build ETL when there are multiple platforms. So what is the solution? Like, can we have single data? Because the data is same, right? Like it's in production, whether you take in analytics, and also the complexity, what it comes with such architecture is the application is always talking to OLTP, and the data is sitting in your OLTP database, right? So, but other databases or other ETLs, they run on a batch wise, or if it is not in real time, you might miss some critical information. So you have to run ETL frequently to keep up with your data with your online application database. So this becomes really complex data redundancy, and then the time to build complex pipelines, and also batching these ETLs. So in order to make it like little more easy, so what are the solutions we have in Oracle Cloud today? So let's go and see what are those. The first solution what I would like to discuss is MySQL HeatWave Database Service. So it's a cloud service which we offer as part of Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So you can provision MySQL HeatWave Database in the Oracle Cloud. We offer it as a multi-cloud service, so you can find the same MySQL HeatWave Database in AWS, even in Azure, and also on OCI. So let's get to understand. So now you understood what are the complexities it comes building a data platform for each type of solutions like ML solution, analytical solution, or Gen AI solution, right? So what we are trying to do with MySQL HeatWave database is, so instead of taking the data out to different platforms, so we are bringing the solutions like ML solution and the vector solution, Lakehouse solution, analytical solution directly into MySQL HeatWave. So you don't have to take the data outside. So we bought the solutions or the platforms well within the MySQL HeatWave. That way, it reduces your efforts or to build complex ETL pipelines. That way, you don't have to take data or increase the complexity, right? So if you see here, one database cloud service would help you to analyze data real time for all your analytical machine learning or LLM. So it will always read the real time data, and it's very secure because your data is not going out to different system, and you have to have checks like who is having access to those databases and who is seeing what data, right? So just having in a single source of truth, it will help you to control security access to those data. So that is important aspect, and also it's easy to manage. Like let's say there is one data, and if you create multiple backups, so your data is not lost, and it's secure, and it's easy to manage, and there is no complex ETL. So because data is just single source of truth, and it's just a single copy, and all your Gen AI, vector store, lakehouse, OLTP platforms just read from just MySQL HeatWave database. So isn't it cool? Like single database and everything you run on top of it, right? So this is one. Let's understand the features what MySQL HeatWave offers in depth. That way we can understand better the MySQL HeatWave database in detail, right? So let's get into MySQL HeatWave database. So as I mentioned that today MySQL HeatWave database comes with all these platforms inbuilt: OLTP, Analytics, AutoML, Autopilot, and Lakehouse. So the same MySQL HeatWave database, let's say you have an application, and you have a database which is used by that application, and it is in MySQL HeatWave database. So the same database can be used for your analytical queries, because if you see, analytical queries are heavy because there will be multiple joins and for a particular business case. So it needs to have additional power to run those queries. So what MySQL HeatWave database is, so it will allow you to create clusters. HeatWave clusters so that you can offload these large analytical queries to HeatWave clusters. That way, you can run complex queries without affecting your online database. So MySQL Autopilot will decide whether it has to offload the query to HeatWave cluster or whether the same database, MySQL HeatWave database, whatever capacity, the storage and the CPU, everything what it has can cater to that query. So based on the complexity of the query, so it will decide whether to offload the workload to HeatWave cluster or to get processed within the database itself. So this is how the autopilot and OLTP and analytic systems work together. So the second part is AutoML, right? So you would have already know that we do have ML platforms in different, even we do have our OCI service, OCI Data Science. It will allow you to run ML programs on any data. So any database, Oracle database, MySQL, or any type of data. So, but the thing is like you have to take the data out. But with MySQL HeatWave database, you don't have to take the data out. So what you can try to do is you can just run AutoML queries directly on the database. So you can train the model, and once the model is trained, you can run the predictions. So we do support wide varieties of machine learning algorithms. So we will cover in the demo today. So we'll cover one of the classification algorithm where you will see how we train data within the MySQL database and how you use it to predict any data sets coming, which are new. So these are the features and lake curves, as I said. So we do support different types of data. So you can, and the storage, you can augment like whenever you need additional storage, so you can add. And also if you need any additional processing, you can need 8-week clusters, number of nodes. That way you can cater to larger audience and larger analytical solutions or platforms which are using MySQL HeatWave. So if you see this MySQL HeatWave on the top, you see the different platforms it's used. Like it's used in healthcare, it's used in e-commerce, it's used in social media, fintech apps, and also you can be used for your analytical tools and also open source tools like Jupyter and Apache as well. So with this, if you see here, it's just one database, but it is offering you more than just data storage. So you are reducing all the efforts of building complex pipelines and maintaining and securing those data. So you are just eliminating all those with just MySQL database. Yeah, as I explained, the auto load and unload, right? So we do have uh, so the feature within MySQL database where MySQL autopilot will decide whether the workload or whether to load data into MySQL database or any complex query, analytical query coming to MySQL database. Autopilot will decide whether to offload the query to HeatWave cluster or whether it can be executed well within the MySQL database itself. So, and on top of that, so it will help. It is not, you are not building anything additional like manually loading or unloading the tables. So MySQL HeatWave database and Autopilot does it for you. So you don't have to do so anything extra. So MySQL Autopilot will take care of it. And also lakehouse, right? So we do have different data sources support, and also we do have the connections. Like you can bring data directly from different sources and different databases which are not native to MySQL database. So you can get social media data, IoT data, and enterprise apps streaming data directly into MySQL database and use it as a lakehouse. So this is we covered all the features related to MySQL database. So if you become expert in MySQL database, you can say you are catering to all platforms, and also today's Gen AI stuff like LLM models you can use with MySQL. So it's one tool for everyone. And also I did speak about machine learning, right? In DB machine learning. So you don't have to take like, for example, if you're in a school and you are asked to build a machine learning model on top of a given data, right? So what we try to do is we take the data and we put it in a database, and then we apply Python on top of it, read the data and load the data into a model and train it and then predict it. So, but instead of doing and building this whole ETL or the complete flow or the pipeline, so it can be reduced, right? Instead of spending time and effort into building that tight pipeline, you can directly invest time to analyze the model or better ML models. So if you see here, we do build support different type of ML models. Like we do support recommender system, regression, and time series forecasting, anomaly detection, and classification. So we do have AutoML engine, which is built on top of MySQL HeatWave Database. So it takes care of processing any ML models which you want to train with the data residing in MySQL HeatWave Database. So if you see here, we also support data coming from different store also. So like we take different file formats and then we upload to MySQL database and then apply ML on top of it. So there is no additional cost. So all processing is well within MySQL database, and it's easy for data and business analysts, right? So they don't have to go to a different platform and learn that platform and start using it. So it's very straightforward. The way you run the query to run any of your ML database queries to get the data. So you can run the similar queries to run your ML algorithm. So it's really cool and it's easy. So you don't have to, and also like every time you run, it will allow you to understand like how this model is behaving, and also it will give an explain plan, just like query. When you execute a query, you see an explain plan, right, to tell you how much rows it went through to get this data, and also like what was the best route it was taken to get this data. So similarly, once you do a model explanation, MySQL HeatWave database gives in detail to see how this record or new data set, a data point, is applied onto the trained model, and what was the result, and what was the weight for each parameter or each attribute in the model. So that way you can understand better to instead of not looking into black box ML models. ML allows you to understand well the model, how it is trained, and how the data set or data point is predicted using the trained model. So that is an important aspect. Okay. So we covered about one of the service which will cater to end to end, right? Like from data reducing data pipeline and AutoML feature and vector DB support, and you can integrate with Gen AI. So this is all about OCI HeatWave database. Now let's get into OCI Data Integration Service. So OCI Data Integration Service, it's a serverless uh, OCI service. So it also allow you to like get the data from different sources, and you can transfer between different OCI ecosystems or different platforms within OCI. So it is easy to build because it's graphically, you don't have to code anything to build the pipeline. So it's easy and it's very interactive. I will show you in the demo like how easy it is to build a simple ETL or complex ETL, because we do have different tools. You can just drag and drop and connect those two components, and the pipeline is built in the backend. So it is very easy to use. So that's one thing. And you don't have to code anything to build these data flows. So we do have visually rich and easy to use OCI data integration platform. So you can use, and it will simplify, and it is easy to maintain. So you don't have to build a large code and have a base and maintain the code base, right, for all the ETL flow. So you don't have to do that. Instead, all your ETL built within OCI Data Integration Service can be saved as a project. Within the project, you can access anytime those ETL flows. And also, like the important aspect would be configuration, right? So we do have the tasks are simplified, and we do have guided tasks. So once you complete this step, and what is the next step you have to do? So you don't have to think, okay, I finished source. What is the destination database or storage database, and how do I connect this? So we do have guided tasks which will help you to build the complete flow, saying that okay, you identified now, and what is next. So it is easy and you can easily build that way. You can increase the productivity and load data in few minutes. So that is the best of OCI Data Integration Service. And also connectivity, right? So when you're choosing a data integration platform, so you also should focus the connectivity the platform offers, because there are a lot of data types and servers the where the data resides, like but your data integration platform should connect or provide best in class connectivity for all these data providers, so that you can easily get the data from those sources into your object storage or MySQL HeatWave database within OCI. So OCI offers best in class connectivity for Oracle Cloud, so it can connect to any of these listed type of data storage. So your data can be in CSV, JSON, or Packet, or RO, or Hive, so Postgres as well. So you can get the data and then load it to MySQL database or any storage within OCI using these connectors. And also, as I spoke about when we discussed about data platform complexities, so we spoke about the pipeline and scheduling, right? So your data integration platform should support these two. Like it is easy, it should be easy to build your pipeline, and also it should allow you to schedule the data pipelines easily. So it can be sequential or parallel execution and conditional based execution, or you can also, it should allow you to build some transform logic, because to sometimes there will be some PII information, personal identification information, where it is not secure to store. So in those cases, you need to add additional transformers in the beginning itself while you read the data, so that you can mask that data and bring it to the storage database instead of applying it later. So you have to do it in the beginning. So you can do that transformation well within the data integration platform. So to summarize, OCI Data Integration Platform offers multiple connectivities or connectors to connect to different sources. And second thing, it is graphical based pipeline builder, so and guided tasks. So you can just follow that and you will be able to complete your ETL pipeline quickly and easily. And second, it allows you to batch and also run sequentially, apply transformers on top of your data, incoming data. So this makes it easier for anyone who wants to build any pipeline, data pipeline, complex data pipeline, and get the data from different sources into the destination source. Okay, so this we understood about OCI data integration. Now let's look into the third component to complete the data platform, which is data science service. So our OCI offers data science service. It's a cloud native data science service, so which supports Python and open source. So it talks about different uh, features, right? So it talks about Jupyter Notebook, it talks about open source, it talks about model training, deployment, and model catalog. And also, you can, the best part is, so you need to choose, because to train a ML model, it's not easy. If your data is more and if your CPU is less, it will take like days together to train. So in order to make it faster, so you do have flexibility within OCI Data Science to choose the infrastructure you want. Either you can choose the CPU, or if you want, if your data model is really large and you want to use GPUs, we do have flexibility. So you can use NVIDIA GPUs to run your models on that. So that is the flexibility you'll get. Like one is infrastructure, and on top of that, integration, data management, and then the ML model, right? So we do have complete framework which is supported within Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Data Science Platform. So we'll get into it in detail to understand what it supports, right? So data access. So data science is a platform. So in order to build any ML models, you need to have access to data, right? So it provides the connectors, Python connectors, which makes it easy and flexible to connect these different types of databases or sources. So it can connect to Oracle-based object storage and streaming, MySQL HeatWave Database, and if it external, it supports Elasticsearch and S3 bucket, Amazon's S3, Azure, and Google Cloud Storage also. And if you consider other databases like Postgres, MongoDB, SQLite, so we do have like well-built connectors which will help you to connect easily and build ML on top of the data which is coming or read from that storage. So we support different data format as well, like CSV, TSV, packet, JSON, Excel, everything, right? So which are common file types. Data transformation. So this is very important for any ML algorithm. So you have a data and you can't apply your ML algorithm directly on raw data. So you might get, your model might get trained, but it might not be the efficient model because it will not be able to predict the right based upon the new data point, because there might be some attributes which might not be necessary, the feature selection, right? So you need to select the attributes which are really relevant to your model. So you need to go through those cycles, transformation, apply statistical analysis to see what attribute is really makes the model efficient. So you need to go through that process. So, and also if you are using any LLM and uh, any natural language in your data, so you can convert that using text processing, using an LTK kit. So that is advantage. You can use any Python libraries to do that, like pandas and NumPy or NLTK or anything. But we do have also Oracle Accelerated Data Science Library, ADS. So you can use that to convert or apply this transformation. So this is, you can use either open source or you can use our own inbuilt ADS library. And data visualization. So we do support open source tools within data science, like anything. I think you might be familiar with Seaborn, Matplot, and then Plotly. So everything, right, which is visually rich open source tools you can use on the data, which is within the data science, OCI Data Science. And also we also provide our own library, Oracle Data Science Library, which will also give you very automatic visualizations and useful insights into the data, and the graphs are really good enough, and you can play around with this data science library with the data. We do have that flexibility. And when it comes to model training and tuning, so we do have pre-installed machine learning and deep learning frameworks. You can use those directly. Or if you need, for example, it's a platform, right? So if you need any additional libraries for your ML model training and tuning, you can use any additional Python package on top of it. So that is one way to do it. And then the last point, which I explained priorly, like, so as a data scientist, if your amount of data is more and you need more computing power, then you have flexibility within data science, OCI data science, to choose what kind of computing power you need to run this ML model. Either you can go for CPU, a higher CPU, or you can go for GPUs if your ML model is really heavy. So this is what OCI data science offers. Okay, so let's get into use cases quickly because I want to cover the demo part as well. So if you see here, MySQL HeatWave Database simplifies the data architecture. So we do have any online application on any source, and it has a database. You can use MySQL HeatWave Database as a online application database, and the same can be used for data warehouse, analytical operations, and also ML. So one database plus third-party utilization, and you can reduce the cost less than 50%, and productivity is more because you are not involving more building data pipelines. You are just involved in analyzing and gathering more business insights, right? So, and real-time visibility, because your production database, analytical database, and ML database, everything is same. So you'll get always real-time visibility into your models or business insights, and accurate forecast because of your real-time data. So this is the benefit you get if you use MySQL HeatWave Database, because it simplifies your data architecture and data platform, and you get more benefits with less cost. And second, it's a combination of OCI Data Science and Data Integration Services along with MySQL HeatWave Database. So you can use all these three, where your MySQL database can be a source and a destination where data retains, and you can use data integration to get data from different sources into MySQL HeatWave and use data science on top of it to analyze the data. Yeah, this is the outcome. So you'll have reduced cost, and it is easier to manage, and real-time visibility. So this is what all about the data platform and how OCI solves the data platform complexities. Okay, now let's get into demo. So let me stop sharing and share the other one. Present, share screen. Okay. Okay. Let me, if you are able to see my screen, let me minimize this or close this. Okay. So, okay, I think we already posted the links to these two workshops. One is MySQL Data Integration. I mean, it's a combination of three services: OCI MySQL HeatWave Database Service, Data Integration Service, and Data Science Service. So you will see how data platform can be built using these three services, which MySQL HeatWave Database forms the storage, and data integration allows you to build the pipeline, and then data science can be used to build ML algorithms on top of it, or visualization. So let's get started. So we do have what you need to get started. So we need VCN, Oracle Cloud Network, where you provision the network required to connect all these three services and also access the database. So once you create it, you go and create object storage, and then you load the file required for your access. So I did load already. There is a reef life survey fish. So it's fishing data from Spain. So we will see how we can use this data and apply build a data pipeline, and then apply data science Python libraries to visualize the data which is coming into MySQL HeatWave database. So MySQL HeatWave database, I already provisioned because it takes 15 minutes to provision. So, but I already shared the link. So you can try this in your free time. What you need is Oracle Cloud account, and you need a credit card or a debit card, which allows you to do international transaction. That way you can get a cloud account with additional cloud credits to try out this exercise. Okay. So now I have everything what I need. Let's say create instance of MySQL and then DB systems, and then I created. So I do have everything ready. I do have MySQL database created. Let me go and show you what I created, and then go through the lab for you guys. Okay, let me move this side, and also this one. That way I can focus on. All right, so let me go to Oracle Cloud and log in. Yeah, so in order to provision your OCI free trial cloud account, so you can click here and it will ask for your credit card or debit card. So anything which is internationally enabled to perform transactions, so you can use it to provision one for you guys. And let me sign into my tenancy. All right, so I'm already in my tenancy, and I do have compartment. And let me go to databases and DB systems. So I already created a database, which is MySQL, which is, this is MySQL Analytics, and this is my IP to connect to my database. So let me go and check whether this database up and running. It's up and running though, but let me. So in order to connect to this MySQL database, we don't usually, due to security, we don't allow direct access to MySQL database. What we do create is we create a separate host, Bastion host, which will talk to MySQL database. But that host is can be connected publicly or public IP. But MySQL database usually runs on private IP. You will not be able to connect directly, but it can be connected through your host. Let me show you. I already provisioned that as a compute instance. All right, so this is the host. Okay. Let me take the public IP and then connect here and then to the database. Okay. So I'm connecting to the Bastion host. So I do have a security key already there. Yeah, it's connected. Now let's connect to the database, which is already provisioned. This is running on 162. Yes. So I already connected to MySQL HeatWave Database. It's provisioned, which is part of that exercise, which talks about Lab 1 and Lab 2. Now let's go and start Lab 3, which is creating a OCI Data Integration Service. So I already created the policies required for to use. Now let's go and create a new pipeline. That way you can see how the data is flowing from that object storage to the MySQL HeatWave database. And I'll change few things that way you can see. Okay, let me go to the data integration side. OCI data integration. Yeah, to go to data integration, it's under okay, analytics AI. So you'll find anything related to data science here, and then for analytics, it is under data integration. I do have shortcut for that, but let me check. It should be in this. Okay, I'll give you that path in a bit. So this is observability. Okay. So this is data integration where you see workspaces. As I mentioned that you create your own workspace where all your data flow, everything will be covered. So I already created a bucket which talks about steady. So which is pointing to the default connection, the buckets. If you go here, so it talks to this OMC internal region, and there is object storage. It has a connection. And then if you go to what are the other data assets, so I do have this one and also MySQL database connection. So I already created two sources, one where the CSV file is already loaded, and other a MySQL HeatWave database where I want to get the data into this MySQL HeatWave database. So now let's go to workspace, and also I do created a data flow. If you see here, I created, if you see, let me click on this source. If you see here, I created the source, as I said, it's in object storage. So that is the object storage bucket name. And then what is the XLS name or the data entity within that? It's a XLS file. So it talks about life science and everything. So this is the source. All right. And you can do data validation or apply anything. So if you want to add any new flow, I can just drag and drop, and I can just mention what is the source to build. So if you want to like take the data into MySQL HeatWave database and from year to year, so you can just build this one and identify or assign the attribute saying that, okay, this is of this type, whatever asset you already defined. So assign that, and then you are good with that. So you created one more data point, or added one more additional layer to your data pipeline. So in order to connect from this to this, you have to just use this arrow, and so you have to just take this and then build it, right? Connect these two pipelines, but I don't need this because it will fail. Let me delete this for now. So you can define what values it is. So it is just CSV to MySQL. And if you want to add any additional validation for your data pipeline from source to destination, you can just do this for data validation or anything. So this is how I added the validation. So now I built a data pipeline where it gets the data from XLS file, which is stored in my object storage, and to my MySQL HeatWave database. So if I go to my project, so if you see here, that is the flow, right? And once it is flow, then you need to go to integration task MySQL. So this is the task. So you have a data flow, but you have to run. You can schedule, or you need to run at a specific time, right? So you define a task saying that, okay, execute this task saying that run this data flow. So this is the task where you say run this data flow and select that data flow for your project. And once you do that, I already have it running. Projects, my first project, tasks. Okay, if I go and run this again, okay, so you can first, once you define a task, you need to go and click to publish to application, and it will ask what is the name of the application. Either you can give a default name, or you can create a different name also. So once you have that, my first project, and then integration task to MySQL. Okay, let me see. Okay, the default application, and if you see uh, the task schedules, so there is no schedules because I ran just once. But if you see the runs, it has just run once, and if you see the output of it, so it will say success. So the data is already taken from CSV to MySQL HeatWave database. So let's go and check how it has got and what is the table it has mapped to. So the mapping, I think you can see in this flow itself. Let's see. When you select, okay, map. So if you see here, I do have in the fish survey, there are two things, 20 mapped. Let me just filter with mapped attributes. If you see here, the CSV has these fields: FID, key, survey ID, country, echo region. These are all part of my fish survey, this one. But in my MySQL database, I do have different fields, but everything is mapped now. If you see the site code, it is site code, but here site underscore code. So you can, if there are any unmapped attributes, so if you select here, it will show what are the unmapped attributes from your source to your destination database, and you can use it to map. Either you can manually map it, or you can, if the names are same, it will auto map, right? So you don't have to do anything additional. So if that map is already done, so now if you go to MySQL database, you'll be able to see that data, and this is already executed. Uh, let's go and check in the database directly. Okay. Now let's go and check. Okay. Okay, now let's go, before going to this one, let's go to databases, OCI Data Science. So it is analytics and then data science, machine learning. Let's go to that service. And I do have already a project created, Nature is survey project. And it is running, as I said, you can create any notebook session, and you can choose the shape. for your session. So if your shape, it tells you like how much CPU the session has, and if your ML model requires a lot, you can choose the shape you want. Like if you see here, when you create a new session, you can change the shape of. We do have Intel, and if it is GPU, you can choose anything related to that. So any ML models within OCI Data Science allows you to choose the compute you need for your data science platform. So I already created a notebook. Let me go and open that session. Open. Okay. Okay, so I'm in a different user. All right. Yeah, the notebook fish survey, which is created in data science, it's open. So now we saw that how data integration, OCI data integration service allows you to build the pipeline with CSV data and getting it to MySQL HeatWave database. And once we got it, so we created a data science project. You can go through that guide because of the less time I have. So I want to quickly run this data science notebook. That way you'll get how the data after completion of data pipeline. So you get the data in MySQL database, and then you created a notebook session within OCI Data Science to run your algorithms, right? So now I already ran that. So for this demo, I'm using this notebook. So you can create a number of notebooks. So you can add, upload. So we do have that flexibility. So you can create that. And then here, if you go here, if you run this first, this one, and then next. So here, if you see here, we do have a connector. As I said, OCI Data Science platform offers you multiple connectors. So you can connect to any data source. So it can be, that's how you can connect to different source, like whether it's in OCI or outside, and then execute this runbook or this notebook. So now I am connecting to my database. This is one, and the nature is the database. And then I am reading SQL, select star from fish, and we can also check, like I do have a database, right? So let me restore it. So let me, okay. Okay, let me connect again, use nature. So I'm in nature, select star from fish. See, the data which is in the CSV file format. So we uploaded into MySQL HeatWave database, and you see all the variables have been has been like we were able to completely get the data which is in the CSV into this because of the mapping we did, and the columns are also appropriate. So if I do, so if you see the table also, so you'll see all the variables which are there in the your CSV file. So once you have this data, so now let's go to data science. Now we'll make a connection to the database. Okay, and then next we are reading the data into using pandas into data frame, and then we are publishing it the top 5 records, and then we are doing some post processing or cleaning this data for the values where there is no total and depth, so we are filling it as 0. And then now your OCI data science notebook is connecting to MySQL HeatWave database directly, and we loaded the data into notebook session, and then we are running analytics on top of it using open source tools. So now let's understand there is a fishing vessel, and it would like to understand the different fishing depth levels in Spain, because they want to go to a depth or go to a specific location where they can get more fish, right? So let's plot. If you execute this, you will see, okay, it is taking time. Yeah. So if you see here, the depth, if you see from the plot, there is a probability that the total fish count is more than 30,000 or 35,000 when you go to a depth of like 5 to 10, in between like 7, let's say. So if you go in Spain, and if you go to depth of 7, if you're fishing net, so you'll get probably more fishes at that point. So that is one thing. And there is second question. The fishing vessel wants to know the top 5 fishing sites in Spain, because there will be multiple fishing sites, right? So across the Spain. So fishing vessel specifically wants to know to which fishing sites, like where they can catch a lot of fishes. So if you run this and then this plot, so you'll see there is a fishing site called El Pescasante. So Pescante. So in this, there is a probability that you'll get more than 30,000 fish in this site. So now you understood using MySQL HeatWave Database Service and data integration and OCI Data Science Service, how these three services interact each other to get business insights or insights which are helpful using the data. So you understood how MySQL HeatWave Database used as a data storage, and how you use data integration to load the data or build a data pipeline to read the data from CSV into MySQL HeatWave Database and use OCI Data Science Service to derive business insights, or even you can apply machine learning algorithm to that data. So this is how these three services integrate together to complete the data platform. And you can build modern data platform. Why? Because it's completely on cloud, and you just pay for the resources you use. You don't have to, and you can, like, whenever there is a used data, you can increase the size of your database and your processing compute for your machine learning algorithm. And if the data is in MySQL database, everything is real time, right? So it can be used as both analytical and also uh, what online transaction database. So it is really helpful using these three services to complete your data platform. So this is about one demo. Let me run quickly. I have 2 more minutes, but let me show you the second model, but through this guide. But you can try it out in your own time. So we do have the famous data set, which is used for classification algorithm. So you do have a flower, the plant, iris plant. So there are different families: iris setosa, iris versicolor, and then let me share this screen quickly. That way I can show you guys. Okay. Yeah. So we do have 3 families in the iris flower, like iris versicolor, iris setosa, and iris virginica. So these 3 families can be identified only with the flower types, or like flower features. So there is a petal and there is a sepal. So based on this width and depth, length, so you can identify what family this plant belongs to, right? This is how you classify. So once I give the length, width, and petal length and width, you'll be able to identify what family the plant belongs to. So instead of because they all look similar, but these small features will able to identify really like what family this flower belongs to, right? So now, as I said, MySQL HeatWave database, where in-DB machine learning algorithm is possible. So you can build algorithms and run algorithms directly in MySQL HeatWave database. So this is the workshop link. You can try in your free time, but let me go through quickly the components of it. So here you create a network, and once you have the network, it's very common because you need network and then DB. And then if you need, you can add a HeatWave cluster to it to offload the work to HeatWave cluster and make your algorithms little faster. And the second part is connect to MySQL HeatWave database. And once you connect, so you connect using a compute instance or Bayesian instance, which I'm currently using. And once you have it, you prepare the ML environment. So you create a schema and then you load the data. There is a different data here. If you see here, we do have the train data, test data, and validation data, because any ML algorithm comes in 3 stages, right? So your train data and test data should be different so that you can validate whether the trained model is appropriate or not. So I created, you can create a table iris train, and you insert all these records. So once that is complete, you go to use ML data. Let me go and show you that in real time. I do have already created. Okay, I can't use it. All right, let me do this then. Okay, so ML data is set. Now let's go and show tables. So, okay, so I do have three data tables. One is test, train, and validate. So the train is used for training, and test is for validating. I mean, like testing whether your trained model is good or not. And to validate, these are like the data points which are not present in test and train. To make sure that the validation is correct, then only you can certify the whether your model is working properly or not. Now that let me go to this again. So I already trained. So if you see here, it's a directly command, like you are running as if you are running a query. So you load the data using training data, ML data iris train, and you say what kind of task it is, because it's a classification type of algorithm, and you name a model. What is the name of the model? So you can give uh, your own name to the model. That way you will be able to find that in catalog. So I already built it. So let me go and check the model I already trained. Let me go to this, execute this model train. Okay, so my admin user is root. Let me see if you see. I already created a model name or iris train root, and everything is created and it's trained. So let me go to this. I already trained using the data, and now I'll use that to predict. So let's say I'll set the input to this one input data point. Okay, so I have set the input data point. Now let's go and execute the prediction on that data point. Incorrect number of arguments. Okay, sorry. Okay. Expected 3 got 2. Right. Let me. Okay, let me. I don't know why it is not predicting, but I need to check how did I train it before. I staged it yesterday. But I can train it again. Let me. But it will take some time. But yeah, if you see here. I'm giving a new data point. Once the model is trained, like it will take some time once you run this model load, and then model ID once you train it. Let me load this. Maybe it is not loaded. Model handle should not be null or empty. Okay. For some reason it is not working, but okay. So it will work because I tried it yesterday. So once you have this new data point and you set it and you predict it, so you'll also able to see ML explain row. So once you go there, you'll see the explain plan for your model, saying that how the prediction went through and what was considered and what was the width and weightage for each attribute. So this way you'll be able to understand how your model was able to predict the new data point and use it properly. So, and also you'll be able to see the complete explain plan, like for all the new data points used in that iris predictions. So whatever prediction it is done, so you'll be able to see the explain plan for that. So with this, what we're trying to do is, so we are getting the ML platform closer to the database. That way we can reduce the data redundancy, the efforts required to build a data pipeline and additional storage. So we can reduce all those efforts and just focus on getting more business insights of the data which is already in MySQL HeatWave database. So you can try. I already posted these two links. get a Oracle Cloud account and try out these two workshops. And if you have any questions, we do have a Discord channel, Ask Oracle. So you can post the questions there. So we'll be able to help all your questions. So let me go to my other Zoom. Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone. And if you have any questions, let me see. There are like 9 questions. I can see 9 questions.
And
Yeah.
I can bring up the questions really quickly. Most of these I
Okay.
answered in chat, but let's
Okay.
take a look really quickly. Um,
Okay.
Arman asks, what does scaling horizontally mean?
Okay. That's a really good question because, as we said, MySQL HeatWave Database supports HeatWave clusters, right? So we do have different kinds of scaling. One is horizontal scaling helps out to, like, because if there is like analytical query which requires more resources, so you can add additional loads, HeatWave clusters horizontally without affecting your online MySQL database, HeatWave database. So you can add additional loads easily. That way, your analytical queries can be faster, and you can run machine learning algorithms easily. So it's that is horizontal scaling, where you had keep on adding nodes as and when there is a need, and once there is no need, you can just remove the nodes. That way you can reduce the cost.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Someone else asks, what are the steps to prevent database from data leaks?
Oh, okay. So the thing is, first, the steps required to prevent the data leaks is, you might see the transformation step once we identify the data integration platform. So you need to identify what data is required. So instead of getting all the data inside to database or storage database, and you can apply the you need to like apply all the security frameworks like PII. You need to mask the data first thing, and second, don't get everything which is not relevant. Get the data which is required for your models. That way you can be efficient, and also your models can be less data is better, right? For your good data is better. So instead of having all the unwanted data, I have less data but good data for your model.
All right. And I think we have
Yeah.
time for one last question. The same person asked if
Yes.
you have a LinkedIn and whether you could share it or not.
Yeah, of course I can share it. Let me drop you in this. Okay. All right. Yeah, this is my LinkedIn. Feel free to connect. Let me send it out to you. All right.
Awesome. And let me just drop that in the comments for everyone. There you go. And yeah, I mean, if you want to connect with Anand and learn a little bit more about
Yeah.
Oracle Database, MySQL HeatWave, OCI, and any of the data integrations that we mentioned today, definitely hit him up on LinkedIn. And as we mentioned before, there's also a Discord channel for Oracle on the Global Hack Week Discord channel, which is Ask Oracle. Definitely feel free to drop your questions there as well. Once again, thank you so much, Adon, for
Yeah.
spending some time with us today. It was really helpful, really insightful.
No.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of the folks here, we've got CB998 saying thank you as well. A lot of the folks enjoyed. So really appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Rosendo. It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Awesome. And once again, we've got an intro to data scraping coming up next. So make sure you keep it locked. We will see y'all next time. All right, y'all. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye.